Hi and welcome to Link for Growth Southwest Herts Community TV. I'm Carol Dodsley, your host, and I have with me your district leader, Alex Murray. Alex, come and say hello.
Hi guys, Carol? How is everyone today?
I'm good. I don't know how anybody else is.
I don't know. I hope we have some viewers if you're there. Give us a shout out how you're doing, how your week has been in Watford. Mine's been really busy.
Okay, so let's start with that. What have you been doing? Where's Alex been this week?
Well, I started the week off on the Watford Market, as I always do on Saturdays. I had a coffee there with Chris, one of his friends, and someone came along who we'd met before at a networking breakfast that we go to on Fridays. She said, "Oh, that's really interesting." She came along, got to know kind of what we do, more about Link for Growth, because that was the first time she'd been to a Link for Growth event, so we got more time to talk about what we do as a networking community building event, and then we do, as we thought before, so she's going to come along and get to know each other. But the whole idea of that one is to get people interested in buying local. As everyone knows, what Link for Growth is all about, buying local and supporting the high street and the independent retailers rather than the supermarkets. And if you come along on Saturday, I may be there Saturday or tomorrow. Chris will be. The idea is to come have a coffee, and then afterwards, Chris will go and do his weekly shopping. But he will introduce you to the fishmonger, the butcher, the baker, and all the little people there who can build up a rapport. And eventually, after a while, they'll start to get to know you and start helping you and giving you suggestions and giving you, maybe saying if you're looking for runner beans but they've not got them for the rest of these, they don't put runner beans in, put these raw beans instead. And just little tips that you don't get from the supermarket, because you build up a relationship with them. So that's the idea of the event. And the more people get down there, the more people we can support the market, which is suffering because the brand new market won't open until October now. So it's suffering because people think it's closed, or people think it's closing, and some stores have already closed. So it makes it look run down and not full. So if we can support these people, they can support us through just giving their expertise. Because some of the people, I believe it's the butcher, his only job has been in farming and food, so he's worked for 30, 40 years in abattoirs, on markets, and cutting meat, so he knows exactly what he's talking about.
And I think that every time I listen to you, I get this picture of the market, and I sort of get this picture of the days before I was even alive, but where people did congregate in local places, the village square, the town square, and the market was going on and everybody's chatting, and it wasn't just about let's go shopping like it is when you go into a big supermarket. It was about let's go and have a bit of a social, let's sit down and have a drink, let's go and see Fred the butcher and Joe the baker, and let's find out what's going on. And really it's very community orientated, and I think it's really great that is what Link for Growth is all about. And I just get these really warm sort of fuzzy pictures when you talk about the market and getting to know people and them giving you tips.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are on social media, some of them are not. We're starting to work on that, and with the CSI project, more and more of them will be getting on social media. AJ, who runs the nuts and kind of spice stores, put a few pictures of her product in the Buy Local community today, the first kind of time she's done that. So they're getting more involved with what we're doing and how we're utilising the Google Plus technology. So the more we help them, the more we can support them, we can help grow their business, and the more we help support our high street, which we need to do, I think, as a town, as a country, support our local traders over the national chain and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I move abroad, you can come and support me, because then I'll become one of the local people as well.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, I'll move on to Monday. Monday was a big. Oh, sorry, that was rude, wasn't it? That was quite rude of me. Of course, I'll come to Bulgaria and support the local traders. I'll fly it all the way from some G+ advice.
Okay, so what else would you like to share with us, Alex?
The fact I woke up at 3:30 this morning, so I'm not 100%, so I'm suffering with a bit of, the brain's not really engaged. It's been a long day of Link for Growth stuff, so I'm suffering a bit today, so that was probably why we're going to get through this. Moving on, Monday we had a launch, my first launch as district leader, the first launch of a coffee, I believe, this year in the district, so it's quite a big day, and it was over in Northwood in a cafe. Really good event. 15 people there, great mix of new people who had never been before, people who had been but hadn't been for maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years, and returning faces, the people you see every day, every week. And it was great to see people that never know each other, would never met each other, talk to each other. I go, oh yeah, I go to this event and I go to that event, and starting getting involved more. And there's a few people there have said to both me and Chris that they're wanting to step up more and get more involved and maybe take over an event. And it just had a great buzz. And the cafe owner, who we know through another event, was there, and he had a great presence. He's the type of person that could engage a room, and he was very much helped. He got all the staff to buy, I believe it was free tea and coffee and homemade cookies. So it was a really warm atmosphere, and I believe that the best events are the ones where the host venue gets involved and says, "We want you here," rather than us just kind of gate crashing into the venue.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that you've made there. I know that Jenny, who's starting up in Penrith soon, she's been to several venues, and it's not been necessarily that warm a reception. And then she went into one venue where she's actually going to launch her event at, and she said to them, you know, it's about community building, and they went, "Oh, like the world should be, like we used to be," and they just instantly got it and wanted to be involved. And I think that does make a big difference, because to them it's then about they belong, they're part of what Link for Growth is doing, rather than we have somebody coming in and they're using our room for an hour.
Yeah, and sometimes in the most events we just go to the venue and we sit there, and the managers don't really know who we're there. They know we're there because we're always there, but they don't know who we are and what we're doing there. And it's great to see local businesses saying, "We want to help, we want to have a coffee here." And if the owner wants to get involved, it means it's easier to set it up because he will be there and he'll host it. He knows the best person to talk about his place is the person that runs it. It's like the best person to market your business is yourself, because you know exactly what you're talking about. So it's great that he was there. And unfortunately, due to bank holiday this month, the next one's going to be in September, which kind of blocks the kind of momentum. But that's unfortunate. But with schools being back in September, more people will be able to go, and that should be a great little event. It's the first one in that. It's kind of a big housing estate. Just outside Watford, so there's already a community there. It's about tapping into it and getting more people involved.
Awesome.
Thursday, so yesterday, we had a coffee over in Rickmansworth in the Regis building. Regis are brilliant supporters of Link for Growth. They give us a room for free. They give us free tea and coffee, proper coffee this week, none of the instant rubbish. And they're really supportive. The receptionist who's been working there 3 or 4 months now is sending out the emails to all the people who are based in the office, so they're getting more involved. There was a similar amount of people as on the Monday event. Again, lots of new people, kind of people who are setting up businesses for the first time. I believe there's a woman who's setting up an events management business, and she's been in events management before, but setting up for herself. So she's looking for certain things, venues, how to get involved, maybe in social media stuff, and it's just lots of things we can do for people and connect people with other people. So if you're running an events management, we know venues. We also know people that do merchandising and transport. So it's a lot of little things that you might have to do yourself, but we can connect you with people who can do it. So one of the great things is we've connected her. I'm going to invite her up to an event we had today over in Great Missenden, which is outside of my district, but it was a lovely Missenden Abbey. I'm sure Chris will take some photos. We'll talk about it on tomorrow's news show, but that's a great venue, and so I'm going to invite her up and say, this is a venue you could possibly use. Introduce you to the sales manager at the venue to host that coffee, and say, is there something you guys can do together? And it's just about bringing people along a business journey, especially when they're quite new into a business.
Yeah, and that, you know, when you were saying there about the fact that you know people with events, you know people that do marketing, you know people that do this, and that all comes from the fact that Link for Growth is not just a business networking, it's a community building. So there's also people that you're going to know who can help people out with other things, who want to connect into things. It's much, much bigger than a let's help you build your business. Are you still with me, or have you frozen? I have an idea that we have lost Alex, and I have no idea where else he's been this week, and I have absolutely no idea what is coming up. So whilst we wait and see if Alex comes back, because it looks like he's frozen on us, I'm going to go over to the Link for Growth website. So bear with me whilst I do a little bit of typing in, and I'm going to see if I can find out what events are coming up next week. I'm not quite sure where I'm looking on here. Let me go and have a look. and see if I can find out what is coming up for you so that I can tell you what is coming. So just bear with me. You can see me looking over because I'm actually looking over at the website to see if I can find the right place. Okay. Bear with me whilst I go across, because it looks like we really have lost Alex, and I'm just trying to navigate the website to find out what's coming up. Okay, I have a list of what's coming up next week in this area. So you have Link for More, and the CSR luncheon is on the 1st, that was today, so that's not coming up today. Okay, let's go on. Link for Coffee in Watford, that is 6th of August, my birthday, at the Regis building that Alex was just talking about. That's from 10 till 11:30, so that's Link for Coffee in Watford on the 6th of August. Link for Coffee at Watford Market, Alex was talking about that. There'll be one tomorrow, which is the 2nd of August, and then there's another one next Saturday on the 9th of August. And then we're moving into the following week. So I'm not going to go into those right for you now because Alex will be back with me. He won't be back today because he's just sent me a message to say that his internet has completely crashed. So if you want to go to any of those events and you want to find out more, do go over to linkforgrowth.biz and find out what's coming in your area. And I'm just going to go onto the Link for Growth website and look and see what training there is coming up next week, if there is any training coming up next week. So bear with me there. Okay, the next half-day training is actually not until the 12th of August. So that will be Facebook with Intent on the 12th of August, and I know on the 14th of August is Google Plus with Intent. I'm just going to check on your accelerated learning programs to see if there's any of those starting. Okay, yes, 6th of August, next Wednesday, LinkedIn with Intent starts. It's from 8 till 9 o'clock in the evening, and that runs for 6 weeks. It's online, and if you go over to linkforgrowth.biz, click on the training at the top and then choose the accelerated learning programs, and you'll come to the page that will tell you all about the LinkedIn accelerated learning program that starts on the 6th of August. So I'm going to close it off there because obviously I can't do shout outs and I can't talk about the local news because I'm not from there and Alex isn't coming back. So I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been very short and sweet, and Alex and I will be back with you again next week.